Welcome to Time Frame Thursday with a delightful quote. Internal deadlines sometimes don't feel real. It's true, right? And because they don't feel real, therefore they're so much easier to avoid. So that's what we want to play with today. And, you know, well, let me start here. My name is Christopher D'Armani, and it is my pleasure and my passion to empower a nonfiction author, hopefully a nonfiction author just like you, so you can turn your dream of writing a book into your published reality. And one of the tools that I use, one of the tools to help you implement in your own life to make sure this dream becomes true for you, is the deadline. Because with a deadline, you are guaranteed to turn your dream of writing a book into your published reality. It's guaranteed. Your journey down that road, you can't fail. And that's why this whole process for me is so much fun. Because I love watching the eyes of my clients when it's like this thing they didn't really believe somehow that they could do, that they're holding their book in their hands and their mind is completely blown. I love that. But let's get to the topic at hand, shall we? A deadline, getting serious for a moment here, a deadline is the thing that makes you accountable on pretty much any level for achieving a specific goal. Without the deadline, without that final end date where if it's not done, there's a consequence of some sort, then you're never going to do it. There's never the incentive to do it. The problem, of course, is that, and this is really far more prevalent with commitments to ourselves than commitments to someone else. If I make a commitment to you, I'll crawl over broken glass to be able to meet it. But if I make a commitment to myself, I'm far more likely to go, well, you know what? Mood doesn't strike me right now. Maybe I want to do something different. Well, there's a football game on. That's really important. My favorite team's playing. I really should go watch that. It's all crap, but it's all crap that my infernal editor uses against me to stop me from doing the thing that I know I want to do, the thing that I must do. And I don't think you're that much different than me in some of these respects. I think you have your own version of the infernal editor. Infernal editor, not internal infernal. He's a jerk. And his only desire in life is to watch me fail, to help me fail. And so I try my very best to make sure he can't do that. And that's where the deadlines come in. Because the closer that deadline gets, the more power it has over me, which means the less power the infernal editor has over me, which is a really great thing. So that's why I'm a huge advocate of making those deadlines really short. Always put them closer in time than I think I'm capable of. Because the beautiful thing about the human mind, of course, is that we can meet any deadline we get set. We're always capable of so much more than we think we are in any given moment. But we need to take our commitments seriously, because without that sense of urgency, nothing is going to happen. Without that sense of urgency, I went through some of these before, we'll go through a couple more. You're going to lie to yourself. You're going to say things like, well, you know, it's okay, I can get twice as much done tomorrow. Yeah, right. But you never do, right? Or you say something else equally as insane, like, well, I'm going to catch up on the weekend. I'll have all weekend to write as much as I want. Yeah, sure you will, but there'll be some other thing that comes up that's going to be somehow magically more important than writing your book. And I can say that because I've been that guy. I've been the guy saying, I'm going to write, I'm kicking myself for not doing it right now, but you know what? Saturday's open. I've got nothing scheduled. I'm going to write for like 6 hours. Yeah. You probably can fill in the rest of the story for yourself. Or here's one of my favorites. No big deal. I can just push the deadline. You know, I've pushed it before. Pushing it one more time is not going to make any difference. I'll still get it done. Right. Sure you will. How many times has that deadline been pushed now? How many times? 5 years later, the book's still not done. If you're lucky, you might have, you know, some semblance of a cobbled together outline and maybe a half-written terrible first draft. But no, not terrible first drafts are bad. I love terrible first drafts because that means I'm writing with speed and with passion and doing all the stuff to get that stuff out. But if you're pushing your deadlines, like we're talking about right now, I don't think that's going to be the position for your outline or your first draft. There's no sense of urgency. So procrastination kicks in really easily. Those excuses. Well, I don't feel like it today. Susan's calling and, I really want to go see Susan, right? Or like whatever the excuse du jour for you is, fill it in the blank. Without that sense of urgency, something else will always be more important. Always. And that's the problem. Because that sense of urgency is the thing that drives us forward. When we're walking the high wire, as this young lady is doing over Niagara Falls or wherever this might be, when we're on that tightrope, we are laser focused on the job at hand, which is literally, what is my one next step that will keep me safe? That's it. I'm thinking about nothing else. But when I don't have that focus, everything falls apart, right? And if this is an area where you think you could use a little assistance, then I would highly encourage you to try something simple. One or all of the three things that I'm going to share with you right now. Number one, make your deadlines public. Figure out what you want to do for your deadline, ideally using manuscript math, because that lets you can't lie to yourself with manuscript math. That'll tell you exactly how many days it will take you to complete your first draft. And then set that deadline and make it public so that your friends, your coworkers, your enemies, like whoever, your potential readers, turn them all into accountability partners. Because now the commitment is no longer internal. Now you've made this commitment to someone else out in the world. And you can't let them down, right? I can let myself down all day long. But letting you down, yeah, that's a very different story. Another great thing to try is join a daily writing group. Not someone that gets together once a month. No, this is a group that gets together daily. I host Writing Power Hour, for example, just for that very reason. So that I have a place to go every single day at 4 o'clock Pacific. And if I haven't done anything before that, that's the day where, like, no, rubber hits the road right here, 4 o'clock, I have to start writing. I have to write for at least an hour. And what the benefits of a group like that is that you can have those other members of the group hold you accountable for showing up, for doing what you said you would do when you said you would do it, whether you felt like it or not. And they'll call you out when you fall short. That's the beauty of it. It's because there's someone outside of ourselves now that we're accountable to, and we value those individuals in our life, so we're going to be less apt to let them down. And the third thing, of course, is to hire a writing coach. There's all kinds of coaches out there. I'm one of a gazillion options you have out in front of you. If you decide that you need some help to design your ideal roadmap for success, for example, or for whatever the next step in writing your book is, there is nothing like the incentive of laying out some hard-earned cash in return for someone's guidance, someone's accountability, someone to help you cross that finish line and be successful. Because here's the thing. The more money I lay out to do that, the more I'm committed to doing it. Money in that case is actually a measuring stick of my commitment to getting this done. So that's one thing to consider. If you're looking for someone, it's not the only yardstick, but you have to find the person that's right for you. Whether that's me, whether that's someone else, all I want you to do is to find the right person. But that can be one of the measuring sticks. If it's not something that's just a little bit painful, perhaps you should do something different. Just a thought. Now, if you want to get some help to get clear on your next step, get clarity on why writing this book is so important for you, on the why of this. There's a reason deep inside you, and it's not going to be the things that come first, second, third to your mind. You've got to peel down like 6 or 8 levels and get down to the real core issue of, well, why this book? Why this subject matter? Why me as the author? Somewhere down there, it's buried right now, but I want to help you uncover that golden gem, whatever that is, it's inside of you, so that you can take that why, that deep knowledge of that this is why this is so important to me, and use that as the power source for the rest of your journey down publication highway. It's a beautiful process, and I would love to be your guide down this little particular rabbit hole to find out what's down there. Because until you find out what's down there, you may not have that level of commitment that's required to get your book finished. So if that sounds like an avenue you'd like to explore, there's no obligation, none of that crazy stuff. I just want to help you get clear. Because once you're clear, the next step is obvious to you. It doesn't matter what the next step is. It'll be plainly obvious to you. And if you get nothing out of this half hour, then that clarity, yay. I think that's fantastic. I really do. So if that works for, that sounds like something that'll work for you, then go to Author Coach. Let me go back there for a second. Yeah, authorcoach.click/dreams. And schedule a time that works for you. And then we'll do a little bit of deep inner exploration and see what power source is waiting for you to tap into. Can't wait to see what it is for you. So with that, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow with